This is Brody Rodning with the Toronto Blue Jays. You're listening to the Walk-Off Podcast with Scott and Adam.
So thrilled to be joined by today's guest, pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays organization, Brody Rodning. Welcome to the Walk-Off, my man. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Hey, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You got that classy hotel art right over your shoulder there, looking good.
Yeah, hopefully you guys like. I'm sure you've seen that in a couple podcasts with a couple of the boys, huh?
Oh, you bet, man. You bet. So to start off, obviously you're in New Hampshire right now getting ready for the AA season, but I did want to say big congrats, buddy, on getting called up last month to the alternate site. Very cool.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're a Minnesota boy, right?
Correct.
All right. So I feel like there's a connection between Canadians and Minnesotans.
Yeah, exactly. Some would say that Minnesota is basically Canada, you know.
Well, we have all the same
all the
stereotypes, right? I know everyone
Very
says
true.
we love hockey, and I perpetuate that stereotype. Are you a hockey guy?
I got my Minnesota Wild sweatshirt on right now.
Hey, there it is.
Absolutely.
Love it. Buddy,
Absolutely.
What a season the Wild are having. They are legit, man.
No kidding. That Kirill Kaprizov, he's the real deal, man. He's hands down probably the best talent on our team. No question.
Dude, what a find. He's going to win the Calder Trophy this year.
Oh, 100%. I don't even think it's going to be close.
No, he's running away with it. It's been
That's awesome.
Oh, man. It's funny because, like, the Wild, I can't remember them having a season like this in years and years and years where they're legit.
It's been a minute. Honestly, we've since Marian Gaborik, like, we haven't had a person this exciting, honestly. And it's fun to finally see. My family and I, we've had season tickets for past 3-4 years, and now with COVID, it's kind of been tough not being able to go. But you know, it's fun to see them finally have a good season, clinch the playoffs, and you know who knows what's going to happen. It's tough though. We got to face probably Colorado, and they're good.
Yeah, it is going to be quite the playoffs this year. Did you become a hockey fan because your parents were hockey fans?
Actually, I actually started playing NHL. I started playing Chell on my PS4, and honestly, from then on, I started becoming a huge hockey fan. And me and my dad started going to games, and we ended up getting season tickets. So
that's amazing, buddy. You're a farm boy too, correct?
Correct. Born and raised. I've been in the tractor since before I could walk.
Well, it's interesting because I was even reading that you literally trained and stayed in shape at the family farm. Like you were.
I did.
Called on your brother to catch for you, and away you go.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, it worked out perfectly. I was home, and he's always willing to help. But like, we were out in the field, but I still got to stay in shape, and I still got to train. So, we take a break from farming for a little bit, go do baseball stuff, and then it's back out into the tractor. So,
dude, that is like baseball romance 101. Like that, like that's like out of a
Disney
movie sort of stuff.
All over it, for sure.
It's like the field of dreams, right? You go out to the cornfield and you see that. And it's basically what it is. That's where I'm from. Just cornfields, and that's about it.
Us too. How weird was it not playing organized baseball last summer?
Honestly, it was crazy. The whole process and just everything, and just the whole thing was crazy. Just not being able to be with the boys, and like, honestly, having the whole, just this in-season feel of going on the road, being on the bus, coming back to your home field and having a ton of fans. It was a different feel, and it took some getting used to for sure.
Oh, I can imagine. And then what a wild scenario you've had the last year. Like, you go from, so you haven't pitched professionally since 2019 before the pandemic. High A Lansing is where you last pitched. Things get shut down, and now you got called up to the alt site where you're literally just one step away from the bigs. Did you let that excitement kind of sink in, or did you find that like hinders your focus and you just tunnel visioned it and kind of didn't think about it? How did you approach that?
Honestly, obviously, I'm super grateful for the opportunity, and I was just I don't know. I lived in the moment. I didn't get too high, I didn't get too low. Obviously, I was very, very excited and happy and stuff. But honestly, I looked at it as an opportunity. I'm up there for a reason. And, I just looked at an opportunity to get better and open some eyes, even at that level. I wasn't content. Obviously, like I said, I was very happy and pleased,
Yeah.
and grateful, but, I wasn't content. The main goal is to get to the big leagues, and that was just one of the steps. And to, be thought of, to move up there, that's just, it's honestly, it's an honor. And, I just looked at it as another step. And like I said, I wasn't content and I want more.
What was that transition like for you, going from practicing on the farm to playing with guys that literally had major league experience and who were one step away? Like, what was that
It was
experience like?
crazy, super surreal. Like, it all came it came so fast, because when I found out I was going to the outside, actually, I just got done throwing in a live BP. And I got done, and honestly, I was drinking some water on the bench. It hadn't been 30 seconds, and one of the coordinators came up and was like, "Hey, man, like, congrats, you're going to go to the outside, blah blah blah." And it all just happened so fast. I didn't get really a chance to kind of like live in the moment. So, it took a little bit of getting used to, but being able to be there, and just, it was so awesome. It was eye opening. I got to see, like, my stuff can play here. So it was cool.
Confidence wise, that must be such a huge thing for you, eh? To be given that opportunity and then to actually have that validation of being like, you know what? I can play with these guys.
Absolutely. You hit it on the head, man. Like, the validation, just having some reassurance that the hard work that you put on in the off season, and, the extra stuff that you did pays off. And they also recognize it too. It's super rewarding.
So I have a pile. I do have some listener questions for you, which we will get to at the end of this. But this one came up multiple times, and it just seems like the perfect place to ask you this. Everyone wants to know, what is the alternate site like? Like, what's the atmosphere there? I can just see how excited you were. And I know that the alternate site squads were playing other teams' alternate site squads. How competitive was that? Did it feel like a real game?
Yeah, actually, it was awesome. Really, really good atmosphere. Even though it was the outside, and it was kind of like spring training in a way. If a starter was to, go five innings, they could possibly roll an inning. But also at the same time, everyone on that outside, like, they're playing to go to the big leagues too, and everybody wants to, show their stuff and show what they got. So at the same time, yes, it's a spring training game, kind of, but everyone's also playing like it's a real game and it means everything. So just having that atmosphere and just kind of a super chill, fun atmosphere, it made it so much better. And
It
yeah, it was awesome.
it was fun, eh? Like, there's
So
that.
fun.
Yeah. Was there anyone when you showed up who was noticeably helpful? Any of the guys who were like, "Hey, Brody, this is how you do it."
Honestly, a lot of my friends that I got drafted with in my draft class, they were actually close to me and my locker mates when I got there. So I knew a lot of the guys.
Oh, that's great.
Groshans, he wasn't my draft class, but I knew Jordan Groshans, Logan Warmouth, a lot of guys. Kevin Bacuna was there.
Nice.
Sim was there. So, I knew a lot of the guys there, and they were all like very open and welcoming. So that made, honestly, the transition a lot better. And they gave advice, and it was awesome.
So let's talk pitching a second here. What pitch are you throwing right now that you're in love with?
Probably my cutter.
Yeah?
I'm loving the cutter. It's a new pitch I developed, and I'm having a lot of success with it right now. So, that's a good pitch for me.
That's great, man. So have you faced a hitter in your experience where there's a little bit of a rivalry between you two? Like, intensity wise, what is it that dials you up? Is it the one-on-one battle? Is it situational in the game? What gets you
Sure.
fired up to pitch?
Honestly, so it's funny you asked that. Probably one of my biggest rivals is, you could call it a rivalry, but it's like a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
It's Samad Taylor. We talk a lot of smack, and we're like, yo, he's like, you better hope I don't face you this spring training. And I'm like, man, you better hope I don't face you, because you're going to be sitting on the bench. Talk a lot of smack. And honestly, when that comes up, and we actually got a chance to face off this spring, and it was awesome. But like, when it comes to it, like, I just don't want to lose, man. It comes like, it's me versus you. Like, I'd rather, I don't want to lose, man. I want to win, and that's how it is. And when it comes to it, I just lock in. Even though you're my boy, you're my friend, after the game, it happens regardless of what happens. I'm going to dab them up, and we're still friends. But like, when it comes down to it, it's game time.
Is he where most of your trash talking has happened? Like when you think back over the last few years, like were there some trash talk that I don't know if you were paying attention at all to this Dodgers Padres season series, but it
Oh,
has been
love it.
so exciting to watch. I
I
love that
love
you
it.
love it. Like as a fan watching, Bauer strike out Hosmer and do the sword celly and then get a hit on,
Hmm.
Hosmer hits him and does it right back. And, Tatis hits a home run and he's running around the bases covering his
Yeah,
eye.
covering his eye.
Like, have you had anything like that trash talk wise or nothing to that?
I wouldn't say against other teams, but like I said, on our own team, yeah. But
Yeah,
again, it's all in love,
of
and
course.
it's just because we're competitive people, and it's just funny. At the end of the day, like I said, we're competitive people, and we want what's best for each other. But we got to talk some smack, and I love the Dodgers Padres rivalry they got going on. Like that stuff you live for. I mean, I remember in high school and even college ball, like we always had those rivalry teams, and whenever you played them, you always played hard. You did not want to lose to them. You always played harder, and I love that they have that in the major league side and even minor league side. So
It creates such a fun atmosphere that was lacking in baseball. And it's funny because
mm,
even to this day, there's still the old school sentiment of there's no place in the game for that sort of showboatness or
right,
showboatery or whatever you want to put it. But you disagree with that, right? Like you're all on board with guys showing their
yeah,
personalities.
yeah, 100% to a point. I think everyone agrees with that too. That to a point.
Yeah.
If like Bauer said, when he strikes someone out, he's gonna show off a little bit, and if someone hits one off him, he's got to tip his cap. I mean, it's the same way it is. If you don't like it, there's a saying in baseball: if you don't like it, play better, right? If
Yeah.
you don't want someone to showboat off you, don't give up a home run. So, but yeah, honestly, like I like it. It's good. It brings a lot of energy to the game, and yeah, it's fun.
So you have been a starter. You're in the bullpen. I'm curious about when there's a mound visit because you've experienced both sides of this, right? Like normally as a
Yeah,
starter, you're not going to get a mound visit unless things aren't working for you and either they need to set you
exactly.
straight or they're pulling you. But now you see a mound visit and you're like, okay, this could be my time up, right?
Hmm.
So I've got two questions here. Number one, when you were a starter, are there any memorable mound visits where maybe a pitching coach came out and either nailed what you were doing wrong or maybe didn't even talk baseball with you? Like, I don't know if that
Hmm.
ever happens where a guy comes out and he's just like, get out of your head type of thing. And then if you can also follow it up with what's it like being pulled out of coming out of the bullpen, right? Like getting the manager comes out and he's like, all right, bring in Rodning. So what are your
Sure.
feelings there? Sure.
So to answer your first question, I think one of the more memorable. I probably have two. One was in college. My coach Matt Maugers, when I was at Mankato State. I guess I was looked at as one of the leaders on the team, and I was having a really really tough game. Started out, I think my first two innings, going to three, a full count almost every batter. Probably walked like two or three. And I just remember him coming out, and he I can't really repeat everything he said, but it was along the lines of it didn't have really much to do with baseball and to get my head out of my butt. And I just remember him basically he had all the position players just he didn't want them coming up. It was just me and him, and he just ripped me until the umpire came back, and I didn't give up a hit the rest of the game after he left. So but yeah, honestly, like it's just one of those things where I'll remember it to this day because he came out just sarcastic, smart, little being a prick, and
Yeah.
I knew what he was doing. I knew it was trying to fire me up, and it worked. But that was one of them, and then the other one was it was in one of my first years in pro ball. Jim Sykowski, he's actually my pitching coach here in New Hampshire. We were in the playoffs at Eugene, and I just remember being one of the guys coming out in the playoff game, and I had the same thing. I walked first guy, but I was throwing sinkers, and they were moving way more than they have ever moved in my life. And he comes out and he goes, "What the heck are you throwing changeups for?" He's like, "I'm gonna pull you if you keep throwing changeups." Blah blah blah. It's like, and I didn't say anything, and Casey Clemens was behind me. He goes, "Man, are you?" Like, I think those are sinkers, right? I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I just can't spot up for nuts." So, yeah, it's just funny stuff like that. Like he loves to just give me crap for stuff, and I just remember those. So
that's great that he's been with you for a couple of years. Do you find that having a pitching coach that kind of knows your history has helped?
absolutely. I think having a pitching coach who, where I know him, I know when he's trying to get a really good point across and to coach me, and I also know when he's trying to, just have some fun. And it's really nice that he knows what works for me as well. So I think that does help. But answering your second question, coming out of the bullpen, man, that's talk about adrenaline rush when they call your name and they call, hey, Lefty, you're warming up or whatever it is, you're in. That run to the mound that adrenaline's awesome. And then you hear your walkout song, and
yeah,
it's a different beast. I mean, it's different than starting. But it's like I said, the adrenaline rush. I love that. I live for that, and it's awesome.
What is your walkout
How
song?
long did it take you to get? Oh, sorry.
My walkout song. Ooh, this year it's "Money for Nothing."
Nice.
It's a rock
the
song.
Dire Straits. All right.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes. Right when the guitars come in. So yeah, it's gonna be a banger. Hopefully, I get the crowd getting into the song. So.
How long did it take that transition from starter to bullpen getting used to?
Gosh, you know what? A little bit. It took a little getting used to that
because it is a little tricky. It's a different mindset,
yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. I'd say more so the routine than anything. It wasn't so like pitching wise because at the end of the day it's just pitching. You get outs. But I think it was different. Like having your days in between when you're gonna pitch. Like as a starter, you're gonna pitch every 5 days, so you can have your workout this day, you can have your workout this day, you're going to run this day, you're going to, throw a bullpen this day. As a reliever, you could go in any day. So you got to be ready. Depending on what your workload is for the day, it's got to be lighter or it's got to be heavier. Just kind of determining what that day is. I think getting used to that was really hard for me. But yeah.
When you first made that transition, how did you approach that mentally? Because I know sometimes a starter can be moved to the bullpen and it feels like failure almost, I guess. Did you have a little bit of that?
Maybe a little subconsciously, but mentally I looked at it as a way to get to the big leagues faster. And that's kind of the way they told me. And, I just kind of, I'm going to run with that because, do I think I could have made it as a starter? Sure. But the way I throw in my skill set, I feel like getting to the big leagues and helping the big leagues would be in the bullpen. And I feel like I have a better chance there.
Skill set, eh?
Exactly. But honestly, like I was basically used to being a relief guy my first year in pro ball because up until Nate Pearson came, I was starting, but once he came, I was his piggyback, and he started every game when it was our day. I wasn't starting, so he had to start. so I had to just come out of the bullpen. So I was basically used to it anyways. So
yeah. All right, my man. So we chatted with Zach Britton. He's Blue Jays outfielder in the system. I have you met him?
I did. I met him. I remember seeing him this spring. Yeah.
Okay, so he's a Missouri boy, and we played some Canadian trivia with him. He did not do well. he got 3 out of 6, and buddy, we had to help him along the way here. Now I know I know you played with the Vancouver Canadians, and you're from Minnesota, so you already have some experience on him, some Canadiana in you. Do you mind
if
let's
see.
Do it?
Yeah,
let's see how you stack up against old Zach here.
What did you say? He got 1 out of 6?
He got 3 out of 6, but
3 out of 6.
He really dragged him along.
Well, let's see how we do.
Okay, to start with, who is the Prime Minister of Canada?
Oh, man. I don't even have a guess. That's brutal.
No, that's fine. That's fine, because I know you got this next one. All right. What city does the NHL team, the Jets, play in?
Oh, that's Winnipeg.
Yeah, nailed it, of course, right?
Been to Winnipeg.
Yeah. All right. The stadium the Toronto Blue Jays play in currently is called Rogers Center, but all hardcore Blue Jays fans will always know it as what?
Ooh. Blue Jays fans are gonna hate me that I don't know this one, huh? Do I got a lifeline?
There's something in front of it and then dome.
Is it the?
Go with it. I know you got it.
Am I gonna say Matt? No, first thing that came to my head was the old Twins Metrodome. That's not it.
We'll give it to you. It's Skydome. Skydome.
Skydome. Is that because of the?
Yeah, because of the retractable roof. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you're 1 for 3 right now, but you can still pull this out here. So the city of Thunder Bay is in which Canadian province?
I believe I want to say.
Do it.
That's the one right. That's right above. Like I've been to Thunder Bay. I remember playing in Thunder Bay in summer ball. It's the same one. It's in the same province as Winnipeg, isn't it?
No, it's in the same province as Toronto.
Is it Alberta?
No, it's Ontario, my man.
Oh my gosh.
The province right above Minnesota.
Which one's Winnipeg in?
Winnipeg's in Manitoba, which is also right above Minnesota.
See, yeah, I got those all mixed up.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I might do worse than Britain.
Let's salvage this, all right?
Let's bring it back.
The Canadian MLB franchise that baseball fans in this country still mourn, the Montreal Expos, became which MLB franchise?
Montreal Expos. Did they go to? I want to say Houston. Give me another guy. Give me another guess.
Okay. Currently on the roster, this is just going to give it away. Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer.
Oh, the Nationals. I knew that too because I knew that they have the throwback sometimes with the Expos. This is just baseball history that I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. This isn't anything about Canada. This is just baseball. Yeah.
I bet I'll score the lowest on your guys' guess, huh?
Yeah. After giving you all these props for being Minnesota.
Seriously, I really let the boys down. Oh, man.
All right. So here's the last one. There are currently 2 Canadians in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Can you name one of them? I'll even give you a hint. One of the guys was recently inducted, and he played both. Go ahead.
Is it Roy Halladay?
No, sir.
Did they induct him in?
Is he Canadian? Him. He's not Canadian, though.
Where's he from?
Adam, you want to do a quick Google?
I think he's from Florida.
I thought it. Because his son plays on Team Canada, or used to play on Team Canada.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. So I didn't know
he was born. So his son was born in Canada when he was with the Jays. So that's how that worked out. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I'm still going to give you a hint here. The guy was just inducted. The guy was just inducted, and he played for the Expos and the Colorado Rockies.
Just inducted, played for the Expos and the Rockies.
Not a pitcher, although one of the Canadians inducted is a pitcher.
Just confusing him with all these details.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, Roy Halladay was born in Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. Thank you for that. All right, who is it? Expos, and then he went to the Rockies. Is it? Nope, that ain't him.
All right.
I don't know, man.
Larry Walker.
Give me guesses.
Larry Walker and Fergie Jenkins were the 2 Canadians inducted.
I wouldn't have got those.
You wouldn't have
got those. I know the names, but I definitely would not have got those.
Well, now we're going to message Zach Britton and just be like, buddy, you actually didn't do so bad.
You can say you now do not hold the lowest score.
You do not hold the lowest score anymore.
Man, thank God you're an NHL fan.
I got to start doing my Yeah, seriously. Holy crap. I mean, I'll hold up Minnesota's hockey trivia with that. I can hold that down, but
Brody,
I got to do my Canadian trivia.
This is all going to pan out for you down the road when you wind up in Toronto and everyone's going to be like, he actually knows a lot about Canada.
And then you're going to show this and they're going to be like,
we'll be like, he learned it from us. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually doesn't know anything about Canada.
All right, my man. So this is the portion of the interview where we'll throw to Adam here, and we have a segment called Foul Territory, which is a little less baseball focused stuff. And he's going to kind of see where you're at on some of this.
Sounds good. Right,
so some of these are weird questions. Some of them, as soon as I start to ask it, you might know where I'm going with it.
I'm ready.
All right. So I was going through your Instagram, and I found a photo, which I'll throw up on the YouTube for anybody that's watching. But you have a photo with a couple of San Francisco Giant World Series rings from 2012 and 2014. Whose rings were those, and how did that picture come to be?
So actually, I was at a summer ball game in Mankato in the Northwoods League, the Mankato Moondogs, and I was watching one of my buddies play, and in the stands was a scout, and he happened to be with the San Francisco Giants, and I was looking at his hand, and he had these 2 fat rings on. I was like, hey, man, you mind me asking? I'm like, who are you, blah, blah, blah. And he just said he was a scout. He's been with him for a while. And he's like, you want to wear these? I was like, yeah. So long story short, yeah, put those on, and yeah, they were huge.
Just not being discreet in the stands at all, hey?
I was just gonna say that. I love that.
Them.
Yeah, I love that so much. These are like rings no one wears around, and he's got both his on his hand.
Exactly. And this was like recently after the Giants had won one of them too. So like, I can't remember what year it was, but it was probably somewhere around 2015, 16, maybe 14. But yeah, I think that's when it was from. But yeah, it was crazy. So it was really cool too, because they just won it, and yeah, it was awesome.
Okay. What is your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever worn? For example, the best costume that I've ever worn that I'm always proud of when I look at old pictures of is when I was in college, I dressed up as the OxyClean guy, Billy Mays.
Nice.
Do you have any?
I know Billy Mays here. I know exactly that one. Yes.
And just so I'm not being unfair to you, I'll also throw that embarrassing old photo of myself up on the YouTube as well. Perfect. Do you have any
I can't wait
celebrity costumes that you've ever worn?
Honestly, my favorite one probably had to be this. Gosh, when was it? Was it this last year? Yeah, I think it was this last year. I went as the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the one from back. It's actually
I know
Instagram too. It's back in the day. He had the the fanny pack and the Cupid link chain.
And
yeah, so that was probably
that picture's going up
the
on
old
here
turtleneck.
Too, buddy, don't worry.
I might have to do a couple more bicep curls to look like him, but I mean,
that's amazing. Okay, that's great. All right, so when you're not at the ballpark, I know you mentioned playing NHL. Are you a gamer? Do you have any other hobbies that you kick in your hotel room, or what do you do?
Yeah, I'm a gamer. I like to play honestly MLB The Show, Chell, Call of Duty. I like to go. I like to farm honestly when I'm back home, but otherwise I like to play. I love playing sports. Like I'll play some basketball, shoot some hoops, play some pond hockey in the winter, lace up the skates, go fishing, go hunting. So yeah, those are my hobbies.
A lot of guys that we've talked to there in the minors for the Jays play golf. Are you a golfer at all?
Oh yeah, I'm not very good, but I play. I mean, I'll lose a couple balls here and there, but I'll play.
Awesome. All right, so last kind of category here covers all-star games in general. So the NHL has a pretty cool skills competition, right? They have the shootout, some of the speed skating and stuff like that. NFL, I don't know if you're an NFL fan. They have the Pro Bowl where they do weird stuff, like they have a game of dodgeball and stuff, right? The MLB just has a home run derby. So my question for you is, if the MLB was to implement a skills competition, what sort of skills competition events would you like to see?
Ooh, that's cool. That's a cool question.
That is a cool question. Honestly, some of the pitchers, man, we don't get the love we deserve. We need some. People say pitchers aren't athletes, but we need the love. I feel like we should have some sort of competition where we do like an athleticism competition between pitchers and hitters. I don't know how that would work out, but it's some sort of way to just determine who's more athletic in a way. I don't know, but because like you said, the NHL, they have the speed skate, they have the velocity for the slap shot.
Yeah.
Like, it would be
some
so
of the other
easy
ones
to
like
just
NFL,
have like
they
a
got
radar gun out there and let's see who can hit the
there you
highest
go.
MPH on their pitches or something, right?
Let's see who can
Well,
huck
even in
it,
hockey,
right?
they've got those, they do the targets in the hockey net, right? And you got to pick each of the corners or whatever.
Hit them.
We could see pitchers doing that in a strike zone, right?
Yeah, there you go. Let's see who's got the best command.
You know what would be cool is, I don't know if you've seen, like I saw this on Trevor Bauer's vlog or whatever, where literally he like takes a running start at it and then just sees how fast he can throw, and he hits like 115 or 116.
115.
Yeah, like be ridiculous. Like let's see like how like like
the MLB needs to do something. I think there's a great opportunity to see some pretty cool skills competition stuff.
That's a good idea. That's a good point.
They could put like a spread of different targets across the infield or something, right? And have guys trying to
try to hit them
field or hit there or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. That's a good point.
But when you make it to the All-Star game, I never thought about that before. Make sure you tell them. All right.
I'll make sure that's first thing on my list. Don't worry.
Thanks,
it is so funny, that baseball is so obsessed with trying to shorten the length of the games, but there's so many other things they could do to make it more fun that would be so much more direct to what they're trying to do, which is bring fans in. Like even the blackout restrictions gets me so angry. Like I have MLB TV and I can only watch like games when the Jays aren't on. Or I can't watch, like MLB.
I agree. I have MLB.TV. Yeah,
it's so frustrating. They're putting runners, like I don't even mind the runners on second to start the 10th that much, but like this is what they're doing. Like,
I mean, the minor leagues are basically the guinea pigs of everything.
Yeah.
Before they had that in the major leagues, that was a rule for the minor leagues, and that was definitely different. But now this year they're doing in high A. For lefties and righties. Lefties can't do the high leg kick pickoff move. They have to step off the rubber. And
how
as well as the right-handers. Oh, that's stupid. That's stupid. That's the dumbest rule I've ever heard. How could you take away? I mean, basically the runners are going to just have a track meet on left-handers. Yeah. First move, it's automatic. It kind of takes away an element of the game. I mean, some lefties, they make their career and they stay in the league because they can hold runners on, or they can. No one steals off of them. They have a good pickoff move. I mean, I don't know why you would be, training that and teaching that at such a young age, or not young age, but at a lower level. Why not develop their pickoff move and stuff like that? Because now right-handers in that league, in the high A, they have to step off as well. They can't do a quick pick. No quick picks, none of that. So I don't really get that one, honestly.
Yeah. How do you feel about the rule changes in general? Do you think they're even needed?
I mean, people say baseball is such a, it's one of the oldest sports. It's America's pastime, and it's, it's good the way it is. But honestly, like some of it, yes and no. Like the runner on second, I think the runner on second, it's not terrible. It does quicken up the game in a way. It makes it more exciting. It makes it tougher too at the same time.
I'd lose my mind if they brought that into the playoffs, but in regular season, it's fine.
That's a good point. I don't know.
Well, it's no different than with like the NHL.
You can do that in the playoffs.
Shootout at the end.
Yeah, it's like the shootout kind of, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't do shootouts in playoffs.
No.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
I heard one comparison was with the UFC, right? Like they had to implement basically rules. Like if they didn't have any form of regulation in the UFC, it would basically just become a grappling match, right? But that's not entertaining to just see two guys like trying to establish position on each other. That's not what anybody watches. So if they aren't being active in a wrestling position, right, they get stood back up, and it's like, okay, stand back up and let's do this again, right? And I think that's kind of what the MLB has to do with some of these stuff, like banning the shift potentially, or some of the wrinkles that they're going to have to throw in there. Is like, yeah, the sport is one thing, and that's great, but like at the end of the day, it's an entertainment business, so we got to remember the entertainment side.
So you see a lot of people trying to hit home runs nowadays too, and it's become part of the game. And actually, it's funny you talk about the shifts, because I think in AA, you have to have at least two guys on
Yeah, that's one of the new rules.
Each side of the
right?
base
Yeah.
On the bases. Yeah, you can't have 3 on the
I
right
think
side
you
of the
can't
base.
put
You
one
can't
in
have
the
3 on the left
outfield. I
side.
think everybody has to be on the dirt.
Yeah, on the dirt.
So,
On the dirt. I don't.
I don't know. I
that
think
might be the
simple
thing,
changes like that, or I don't have a problem with
I
that.
kind of like that one. I don't know how you feel about it, but I just like the idea. Like, ball players have become so athletic in the last decade. Let's see the athleticism. Like,
Yeah. Honestly, personally, depending on, who the hitter is, I feel like I've gotten screwed more with having the shift on than not having it. I feel like when they have the shift on, all of a sudden the guy hits it to where they're not. And I'm like, well, if you're just in a regular position, like that's a routine fly ball, but now he's got a double. And, it's stuff like that. But, at the same time, it does work out. But
Of course.
I don't know.
But I can imagine, dude, it being very frustrating, making a great pitch, getting a ground ball, and then watching it dribble by on the third base line while the shortstop needs to run it down from second base. Yeah.
Exactly. Or like you break the guy's bat on the inside fastball, and all of a sudden you just see it bloop, and you're like, oh, that's a routine fly ball. And you look over, and he's like, oh, wait, my right fielder's 120 feet away from
You're like, great, that's a double.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, but that's the name of the game.
Yeah. All right, my man. Are you all right on time? Can we hit you up for some listener questions? Awesome.
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
Okay, so this first one is from Madison in Victoria. So that's on Vancouver Island, just a ferry ride across from Vancouver there.
Sweet.
She says, hey, Brody, super cool to hear you got called up to the alternate site. Congrats on that. I actually saw you play with the Canadians back in 2017. Was there anything about Vancouver that stood out to you during your time there?
Well, thank you for the question, Madison, first off. Honestly, I loved Vancouver. To this day, it's still probably my favorite city I've ever been in.
Nice.
I loved the scenery. I thought the city was beautiful, and obviously the number one best part was the stadium and the fans. Going to the Nat Bailey every day and just having 5,000 to 6,000 fans, cheering your name, listening to the Canadian national anthem sung by everybody at the stadium when you're out there. It's just super cool, man. It was honestly one of my favorite places to play. So yeah, I love Vancouver.
I love hearing that. And you know what's funny, Brody? You are not the first guy to say that. It's funny because Joey Murray was talking about this with us, about how he played for the Canadians and it felt like his first introduction to pro ball, even though it wasn't his first stop on his pro career, because there were so many fans. And he even said, he's like, don't get me wrong, like people weren't recognizing me, who I was, but they knew I was a Vancouver Canadian. He's like, I don't know how they knew, but they knew.
Exactly. That's basically, he hit it on the head. I mean, honestly, like they treated you like royalty up there. It was so cool, and everyone was so nice, and just like it was. I thought it was so unique because the only baseball that Canada has, Toronto is Blue Jays, and the fact that we were able to be and play in Canada, I felt like that was a little more special to the Vancouver fans, and just to be there. So it was awesome.
Right on, man. Okay, so this next question's a little goofy. It's from Kelly in Brandon, Manitoba. And he says, hey, Brody, I need the honest truth here. Have you ever used a hay bale in any way to exercise or work out?
That's funny. It's funny you say that. Not intentionally, not an intentional workout, but yes, I have baled some hay in my day. Actually, yeah. So this summer I was able to play in a summer league for baseball back home, and actually right before our first playoff game, one of my buddies, he was our first baseman, he's like, Pa needs help baling some hay. We got to go up to the hay loft and throw some bales. So before the game, before we left, we went up there and we started bailing. We probably bailed about 400 bales and threw them away. So yeah, actually I did.
Pre-game routines are a little different when you're a farm boy, eh?
A lot different than pro ball.
All right, my man. This is your last question here, and it comes from Ali in Toronto. He says, hey, Brody, hope to see you on the big league team soon. Have you been to Toronto yet? And if so, what did you think?
I appreciate that. Hopefully I'm there too. Honestly, I have not been to Toronto, but I've only heard good things, and I can't wait to visit. And hopefully, that's soon, sometime this year. So
agreed, man. Number one, congrats on your call up to the alternate site. best of luck to you in New Hampshire. And thank you so much for taking the time. We hope to have you back. Maybe once you get all settled in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you.
Right on, Brody. Thanks again.